Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar session on top 5 reasons to adopt into cloud. In the post-pandemic era where organizations strive to build more resilience with respect to business continuity and optimization of their throughput, cloud is not a need. It is something like a must-to-have on every individual's portfolio. And RheinBrücke, in our knowledge dissemination sessions, we take efforts to bring constant updates to the viewers. Wish you a warm welcome. Today we have 3 esteemed speakers. We have Malcolm Allan, who is a leading international channel programs in Epicor, is a dynamic and entrepreneurial manager, IT leader, and strategist. With over 3 decades of experience, he has worked with leading IT organizations, including Oracle corporations and Sun Microsystems. He has a strong business acumen and specializes in leading organizational changes, mentoring and coaching business on IT solution strategy, and leading them through to implementation. Malcolm, welcome to our knowledge dissemination session. The second speaker of today is Zaied Hammori. Zaied is an advisory solutions architect and cloud expert. Has been associated with Moro for a very long time. His passion is to address complex business problems with simple solutions and convert solutions into a software as a service offerings model. Zaied comes with over 15 years of experience focused on digital transformation, servicing healthcare, telco, and utilities industries. He participated in introducing a wide range of digital solutions and products to MoroHub's portfolio, including IoT as a service, video surveillance as a service, ERP as a service, and much more. Welcome, Zaied, to our session. Suresh Chandrasekharan is our speaker. He has been with RheinBrücke for a long period, and he is our chief solutions architect with RheinBrücke. He has over 2 decades of experience in solution architecture, pre-sales, and consulting. He has successfully implemented ERP solutions across the world. As a chief solutions architect, Suresh comes with immense technical know-how and provides technical leadership and strategy in the domain of enterprise IT across industries. His expertise enables the strategic development and management of new solutions and providing innovative solutions to customers to address business challenges and ensure sustainable growth. My name is Sreekanth Ramakrishnan. I come with more than 2 decades of IT experience, predominantly from services delivery, mostly driven due to strategic IT transformation and portfolio optimization programs. Currently, I'm taking care of channel management in Middle East and Africa. We empower our esteemed customers through our value-added network, thus empower our partner network and customer with highly value-added focused solutions. That's about me. So today, panel discussion, post-pandemic 5 proven reasons for adopting Cloud ERP. That's the point of discussion today. And I will welcome Malcolm to take over from here. Malcolm, over to you.
Sri, and thanks for involving me in this panel discussion. I'd just like to take a bit of time looking at why, probably more than ever, businesses are considering cloud as part of their overall business strategy. As you're all aware, the businesses of today see many forces that impact their organizations. There's the rapid advancement of new technologies, cybersecurity threats, difficulty finding and retaining qualified talent, and maintaining a competitive edge in an ever-increasing global and competitive landscape, and all that can be highly disruptive. So everything becomes a balancing act to keep the forces in check, and especially difficult in times of uncertainty or disruption like what we're facing just now. So what really makes it difficult is the rate at which businesses can adapt and change is often slower to the speed of market change, and it's really essential that we keep up with that market change. So technology should help us stay focused through the change and allow us to maintain our competitive advantage, and really key. Next slide, please. So So Epicor perform a global growth index annually, and it really measures the state of business growth year over year in manufacturing, distribution and retail industries. So every year we survey thousands of leaders from around the world about key factors in business growth, potential barriers to success, technology that they plan to invest in, and a bit more than that. So in 2019, there's 2,390 participants in the survey. And out of those 2,390 participants, we found that 84% saw cloud as playing an important role in their growth strategy going forward. 90% run cloud applications today. 92% are planning to invest in cloud applications this year. And when looking at industry like this, it's clear that cloud is here and it's really part of the business strategies going forward. It's the type of investment that can generate quantifiable returns for the business. And if you don't currently use it today, or think you might be able to use it more effectively in the future, is certainly something that's worth considering. I think every CIO has it as part of their thought process, if not part of their strategic direction going forward. So certainly, I think Cloud ERP is an opportunity definitely worth exploring. If we look at a cloud as an enabler, it's really to provide seamless operation and business continuity within our environment. So I think it's important to look at some of the required capabilities for today's business world. So if we look, firstly, everyone's looking to improving visibility and insight into the business and global supply chains. Again, now more than ever, global supply chain has come to the fore. And we need that visibility to make informed decisions faster and respond to market change faster. So we would advise them to align their technology strategy, partnership, and solution choice with the right industry fit, customer references, better governance overall, and make sure those industry-specific enterprise solutions feature modern technology like analytics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, to really sustain a competitive edge and advantage in the future and going forward. Secondly, companies are automating business processes and workflows to move faster and reduce customer lead time by building seamless integration across systems, locations, and organizations, getting to the stage where we have a single thread of data running throughout our systems and business, real transparency in the business. Thirdly, companies are offering employees, customers, suppliers a greater user experience for adoption and engagement with capabilities like self-service and mobile. So if you're going to make investments, you want to make sure people will use it. Fourthly, the companies need to lower their total cost of ownership. Everyone's under cost pressure just now, and we need to get the cost of ownership of assets down to enhance profitability. It can be done by simplifying application and infrastructure strategy to one that's able to scale as business needs require, and even reduce if required. So maybe there's duplicate systems, duplicate applications that you can replace with a single enterprise solution, one hand to shake in the environment. Fifth, the companies are reducing the costs and risk of data loss, compliance, and overall cybersecurity with capabilities like anti-malware, 24/7 system monitoring, powerful threat intelligence, best practice backup, disaster recovery practices, and high quality solutions. This is really to ensure business continuity in the event of a component failure. They can recover data quickly, recover the business quickly, and minimize disruption, getting business continuity. In today's world, this is becoming a must-have, if not already a must-have. And finally, manufacturers are efficiently allocating IT resources by standardizing their technology investments with a few singular trusted service providers and refocusing those IT resources in the highest value business projects, letting the expert service provide, manage, and administrate the aspects of running IT, keeping the systems updated, and keeping the business current with the latest technologies, so that the IT team can really prioritize what's important for the business. So if we look at some of the specifics now and the economics of it and predictability of costs, economically, companies with on-premise data centers are facing cost pressures all the time. They're looking at challenges in maintaining their uptime. It forces CIOs really to look into cloud adoption seriously and more cloud-based ERPs. And as industry moves away from the infrastructure of ownership and the pay-per-use models are really going to see accelerated demand. It gets cost avoidance as a major part of the business. And if we look at the types of business value, with the first being predictable costs, there's so many favorable economics in the cloud that really centered around this notion of predictable cost model, knowing what costs to plan for rather than worrying about surprise cost. It's been moving to operational expense versus managing assets, so OPEX over to OPEX from CAPEX, eliminated servers and other hardware and all of the associated costs with it around disaster recovery, business continuity planning, backups, and even just keeping the air conditioning running in the server rooms. It's different for every organization. You need to go through the evaluation, but generally with consistency and alignment comes greater transparency and efficiencies. And I believe that to be true across all business. And once you get to the predictable cost model, your IT resources can spend more time prioritizing the business and driving real strategic value rather than getting stuck in the administrative tasks that's required to keep infrastructure running. If we go on to the next slide and look at how remote working, again, in the pandemic, we saw remote working coming to the fore. And now I think it's true across every industry that our workforce, they're scattered in offices, they're at home, they're in warehouses, they're on the road. Wherever the team is, they need reliable and secure communication tools to drive business continuity and rapidly respond, especially to customers or suppliers that are critical or essential to the business. So having a cloud-based ERP that runs in a browser from any device, anywhere, without the hassle of VPN is important to any business's future-proof strategy. And if you take a moment to look at cybersecurity, again, I think we've all either been affected or heard of companies that have been affected by ransomware. And just recently we've seen that in times of economic and business uncertainty, cyber criminals are taking full advantage of the situation. And I take a quote from Reuters that from April 2020, and it states that the hacking activity against corporations in the United States and other countries more than doubled by some measures last month as digital thieves took advantage of security weakened by pandemic work from home policies. So if you don't, I guess the message here is, if you don't have the proper security measures in place, there's a vulnerability. And in fact, it's best having it in place up front rather than having to react. Phishing is widely cited as the most popular cyber attack. And if your company runs its email on the same servers or network as your business applications, it's a perfect way for any hacker to get in and bring down your business. VPNs are even proven to be vulnerable, so you need a smart isolation strategy that separates your business applications like ERP from your email. If you've got it in place already, you don't have to respond at the last minute. And finally, if we just look at scale, another really important benefit that I'd like to point out in any cloud solution. So the cloud-based ERP uniquely provides a flexible technology platform that scales with your business needs, increase or even decrease depending on how your business is going. So as you determine your business needs to invest in robotics, automation, or artificial intelligence, all as examples, you've got a platform that's ready. And if you get to a point where you realize a previous technology investment's no longer providing value, you can drop it, so you've got flexibility. And again, your IT resources come into play in a big way because they're the experts that can help leadership navigate these types of technology evaluations, decisions, and how to best onboard any investment. So I guess just in summary, cloud really is an equalizer. Cloud solutions seamlessly integrate Internet of Things, analytics, systems of insight, security at the edge, artificial intelligence to mobile mobility and big data. And certainly something that I believe all businesses are considering, and it's a key part of their go-forward strategy. So I'm going to pass over to Zaied now, who's going to take us through the Moro offering.
Thank you, Malcolm. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So before we start, let me give you a quick brief about Moro, who we are and what we do. So Moro is a digital transformation hub. We offer cloud services, digital services, professional services, and managed services. We follow the best practices in delivering these services. across all domains. Moro is certified. We are ISO certified. We are CSA certified. Our data center are uptime certified. We are also certified from Dubai Disk. We are CSA certified and PCI certified. So this is our journey so far. We are an agile company, 3 years old. We started as a hosting facility offering physical co-location hosting, professional services and managed services and the cloud services. And then we moved into the digital domain by offering digital products. So we start by IoT, Internet of Things, video surveillance as a service, unified communication as a service, and we are now offering multi-cloud. So after that, we start leveraging and elevating our capabilities by deploying more availability zone and offering services on hyperscalers. Now, along with Epicor and with RheinBrücke, we are offering ERP solutions and CRM solutions. In our roadmap next year, we are looking to provide more services such as cognitive computing, AI solution, blockchain, and RPA and chatbots. So in the next slide, because we understand that different customers will come with different requirements. Sri, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So because we understand that different customers will come with different requirements and one t-shirt won't fit all, we are offering multi-clouds, different clouds, and our offering comes by default with high SLA, very aggressive SLA. So we offer up to 5 nines. We offer Virtual Cloud, VMware Cloud. We offer IBM services, Power Series. We are also, our clouds, our internal clouds connected with the public cloud. So one thing we can offer our customers to be connected between our internal cloud and the hyperscalers outside the country under one contract and one agreement. So what we have learned during the pandemic, the service mostly offered in our data centers or most of the service are consumed by our customers are based on best effort. So inside the data center of our customers, they don't have most of the time documented SLA, and all the services are provided based on best effort, which leads to vulnerability. By going homes, this become even more vulnerable. They experienced more issues, and they found that, you know, the lockdown will impact their operation. Simple things like deploying, you know, fixing a patch cord or installing new servers is a major issue. So what we are offering here is to take all this stuff, all this hassle to the cloud. So whether you are in your office or in the cloud, you will experience the same experience. You're gonna have the same experience. You will have a service backed with SLA. Your workload is interconnected inside the country, outside the country. Everything will reach you through the internet, and you don't have to deal with these things. So how do we offer the SaaS? So basically what we do, we look at all the costs that you incur, you know, the compute, the storage, you know, the load balancing, the security, the space, the power, the cooling. We pay all these things. We bring all these components, we put it together, and we give you SLA-based service. So our services are provided as a subscription, and we cover all that cost for you. We manage the interaction, communication with vendors and the clients, and you get, at the end of the day, one service ready to go. And by getting SaaS services or software as a service from our cloud, you get the subscription based on OpEx. So all the subscriptions are based on OpEx. You don't have to incur CapEx investment, a huge CapEx investment in the beginning. You get enhanced SLA. So all our services are backed with very aggressive SLA. You get better economy because we run, you know, multiple companies in a very large scale. So you get to get more by paying less. And the last thing is you know, having one cloud, you get one cloud, everything is connected together and with flexible, you know, consumption-based plans. So you can increase your workload, you can decrease your workload, and at the end of the day, you get one service from one supplier. Thank you.
Thanks, Zaied, and thanks, Malcolm. Great insight in terms of how cloud computing is all about and how it is going to organizations. And Zaied was talking about how we can keep the data within the region itself and what kind of wonderful infrastructure they are providing. During these days, we have been hearing a couple of words, right? Availability, scalability, flexibility, usability, and we also heard from Malcolm and Zaied as well about the user experience and their perspective. Yes, we have a great product, no doubt about it, when it comes to Epicor. Epicor has got it's built on state-of-the-art technology. It provides a single code set for both cloud and on-prem, and flexibility is being provided in terms of moving from on-prem to cloud, right? But when we look at it overall, the flexibility as well as the recipe for success, one is basically the product, second thing is basically the infrastructure. Now, what do we need to make it successful, right? And that is what is very important and relevant. That is where RheinBrücke comes into the picture, and to provide a best implementation based on the industry best practices. One of the major concerns from the customer these days is, am I going to subscribe something which is common, generic for many other organizations? Or is it something which is tailored for my requirement? So it is a unique, I would say it's a valid concern, and people don't want to sacrifice or compromise on features and functionality for the sake of having or moving into cloud. The question is all about, how do I get access to something which helps me to have compliance ensured? How do I get something which offers me flexibility, availability, and scalability without compromising on the features, functionality, and industry-specific requirements? So what we have done is basically we offer such a wonderful project management, as well as how do we implement the overall application within the specified budget and time. People wanted to have a quicker turnaround, or rather say that actually quicker time to value and a faster return on investment is what people are looking for. But at the same time, how do we manage the organizational change management? As we all know, one of the main reasons for many ERP implementations failure is the change management. So our methodology, change management is built in, and throughout the process, we will be managing change within the organization. So moving away from the traditional way of working to a more industry best practices, and how do we quickly adopt a system? How do we make sure it is being implemented within the specified time frame, and we will get to see much bigger value, right? So that is something which is always important. When you look at, so that is something what is relevant and what we need to do. So the recipe for success, as I said, is with the product, with the infrastructure, and the way it is being delivered to the customer. And that is exactly what RheinBrücke offers, and all of us together offers to our customer. Now, when you look at any given point in time, when the industry pain points, what the customers are concerned about, right? Now, as I said earlier, people are not ready to compromise on certain specific requirements, especially compliance related, right? Let's talk about financial compliance of IFRS 15 Part 2 or any other compliance and standard. People are not ready to compromise. Then if they don't want to compromise, what solution we can offer? That is where we have developed industry vertical solutions to address different industries in the market. So what we have done is basically taking the product of Epicor and to using the tool set and technical capability, we have developed the additional integration, additional features, the compliance things, and all of the things, and making sure that actually the customer is getting a ready to use application The only thing what we need is basically minimum configuration when we go into a project. So we are able to support a faster implementation. So naturally, since it is based on industry best practices and built for certain industry verticals, the system is highly scalable and it's robust because it has been tested in several other places. The customers are happy with the kind of projects what we have done and what they get to see. And naturally, the faster return on investment, quicker time to value is something what we can offer to the market and how we are going to help our customers. The question is all about what industry verticals, what we are offering, right? Because as we know, there are many industries in the market. What we have been focusing is around 6 industries. And when we talk about this is at a macro level, when we get into micro industries, you will see EPC engineering, engineering, procurement, and construction. It itself can be broken down into multiple micro industries actually. The industries, the reason why we are focusing on this industry, first of all, the product is capable of addressing the market requirements. Second is basically we are familiar with the industry best practices, so we can work as an advisory, advisors as well as consultants, not just going and asking the requirements and delivering that specific requirements. The biggest failure in the implementation, especially in the ERP side, is where the consultants lacks the real knowledge of that particular industry. So it is almost like automating what they are doing today. But that is not what people are expecting today, where the industry best practices are built within the application and people can easily adopt and use that and continue working with them. The biggest challenge in the market is basically, so your competitors are successful because they are following certain standards and they have the industry best practices followed. So naturally, your job is to compete with them. The only way you can do that is by adopting the industry best practices, making the organization lean and process much more agile. The second best industry is basically discrete manufacturing. The third one is process manufacturing and life science. Fourth is auto supplies, oil and gas and energy, retail, distribution and trading. So we have taken Epicor state-of-the-art product and built additional capabilities to have flexibility and usability when it comes to these industries, and without compromising on the industry best practices as well as features, functionalities, and compliance point of view. So it can be used across industries, but if you ask me, the overall positioning is limited to these 6 industries, the answer is no. This is where we have the expertise today from a RheinBrücke point of view. We have been investing heavily in this particular specific industries. We have built all the artifacts required. We have the learning content management. We have the people certified on these particular processes. They have the experience to handle this kind of industry requirements. That is what is going to add the value, not just the product and services. All put together, we will have the right recipe for success. We will have the right outcome from an implementation. Now, we have discussed actually what we offer to the market. Now the question is basically, what methodology do you follow, right? So any project to make it successful, the methodology and the way in which it is being implemented is very important. So we have developed a methodology called Scale. It is completely agile, and the consulting expertise will come and serve the customer. Learning and enablement is built in within the process, and we have separate set of solution architects who is capable of architecting the overall solution. If you look at one of the main reasons for failures for many projects is lack of solutioning. People don't understand the business. They just take the solution and try to fit the requirement within that solution. We all know one size doesn't fit all. So it is important for then if people started customizing the product, rather than explaining the process because and making it adapting to the organization. That is where the scale methodology comes into the picture, where the solution architects, they are experts in that particular industry vertical. They know the industry best practices. They are very well be able to explain the industry practices to the customer, map their current processes, and make sure making them understanding the gaps, and based on which they will be able to take the right decision and move it in the right direction. That is very important, and we can use the scale methodology for implementing the product, and that's one of the reasons why we are able to offer this kind of services. Now, the question is all about when it comes to implementation time. That is something you have heard in the beginning. So we can have implementation time is crucial. People are traditionally waiting for 6 months to 1 year or 2 years to get the results of an ERP system. People get frustrated by long implementation cycle because that is when they don't see the result, but they have to put all their additional efforts to get that up and running. The question is why we are not able to implement the product within a short span of time is specifically because of the lack of industry best practices and people's lack of skills in terms of explaining such practices and making the customer believing in it. So what we have done is, based on the scale methodology, we came out with 3 different implementation types. One is definitely the rapid implementation. That is meant for small customers. They wanted to get it up and running probably in 4 to 8 weeks. That is something which they need. And they don't want sophisticated, or I would say they need sophistication, but they need more efficiency and productivity. That is what they are looking for, not the best bells and whistles in the product, actually. So they are happy to adopt the industry best practices, and they are ready to go and get up and running much quickly. That is when we offer rapid implementation methodology, where the system is pre-configured and we don't waste effort in terms of customizing the application. The second method is the fast track. That is typically slightly bigger SMEs, actually 10 to 15 users, or these are all concurrent users what we are talking about. 25 users is almost like around 100 users in an organization. And again, we offer pre-configured industry template and very minimum customization. When I say customization, it's all about certain validations, document formatting, reporting, and so on and so forth. So that is the second type of implementation where people can get it up and running, again, 8 to 10 weeks or 8 to 12 weeks, actually. That is the second type of implementation. The third thing is basically the standard methodology, where a lot of complexity is there, different types of companies in a consolidated structure, in a group structure, where people wanted to have a bit of a customization, specific requirements. And when I talk about customization, it is not about source code changes. It is all about actually a configuration using the tool set available in the system. So that's the third type of implementation. And what is the biggest benefit of scale methodology? We are going to have a standardized process within the organization. There will be a standard operating procedure built as an outcome of this implementation. The deliverables are clearly defined. We know what at each stage we are going to offer. The risk is very minimum because we don't customize the application. We are sticking to the industry best practices. The result is confirmed, and that is the biggest advantage. And the results can be predictable, right? Now, to make it successful, especially the industry vertical solutions, with the help of scale methodology, what do we need in our hand is the question. And how do we support the entire life cycle of an implementation? When we talk about an implementation, it is not just getting a system up and running. It's all about predicting the return on investment well in advance. If you use the system, what return on investment are you going to get, and how long it's going to take, so on and so forth. Then it's all about implementing the industry best practices for that particular vertical. then we are talking about ongoing training, and during the implementation, what kind of trainings are we offering? One of the biggest reason for failure is the training what people offers. You can do classroom training, but at the same time, people need reinforcement in terms of the training as and when they move forward. So it is important to have proper learning content management to help the organizations to train users. The second important thing is basically when there is an attrition in the organization, people always wanted to have a standard tool sets which helps them to provide training to different people, right? When the new employees are joining, so if there is a standard content learning management available, people can get quickly up and running, especially since there is a industry best practices available. So it is easy for me to understand what my roles in the organization, what task I am supposed to perform, and how do we perform that task. Actually, the learning content management can easily train me. So with the help of the industry best practices, learning content management, the majority of the implementation time has been reduced. Actually, that is how we are able to achieve this overall efficient way of implementing system. Now, once the product is implemented, the next question is all about actually what kind of supports you provide. So it is an ERP system. People are going to face problems. People may have new requirements, and they want to bring in new things into the application. So there should be an efficient way of support mechanism where people can access the 24/7 support, and people can get talking to different people in the support organization, and they will get to see a real value coming out of it. So that way they can extend the usage of the application. So the entire kind of implementation mechanism, or I would say that actually the different pillars in the organization at RheinBrücke can help organizations to implement the Epicor ERP successfully, and they can get up and running on our cloud very quickly.
Hey, thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Malcolm, and thank you, Zaied. Viewers would have got a glimpse of, why this offering is available as of today. To put it very straight, two reasons as why do you need this. To enhance your perceptual acuity as a business leader, to visualize unforeseen changes, see the change in the bend, and adapt to the situation. Second, build and accelerate your resilience so that the inadvertency can be made into an opportunity. That's the reason why we have the offerings. And we get the offerings by means of a world-class ERP provider like Epicor, a world-class infrastructure provider like Moro, a world-class solutions provider like RheinBrücke. The three join, the three in a box, and that is the reason you get this in a seamless manner. We discussed about a seamless transformation from on-prem to a cloud model. We spoke about disaster recovery. We spoke about abolishing a CapEx model and moving towards an OpEx model, scaling up, scaling down, disaster recovery, business continuity, be it a site outage, city outage, or a country outage. Moro provides you a seamless way of business continuity and a world-class infrastructure to you. It provides you a simplified technology, a very, very lower TCO, which means you realize your value sooner, lower your economic or environmental impact in terms of being eco-friendly, remove your data center and move on to a central location with a very clear green data center of Moro. We have a mobile facility, go global, get more collaborative with the organization, provide a 360-degree view to your suppliers, to your customers, to your employees, and attain a world-class security by taking care of world-class security mechanisms, built-in models of security, both physical and proximity-based locations, and also software-driven models. Enhance your implementation time. You have an optimal time frame by providing or seeking for industry-based vertical solutions, the proven solutions which gets implemented faster than a regular traditional ERP implementation, a canned model specific to the business. And most importantly, stay current with the pace of innovation. That's why we bring you this knowledge dissemination session. We provide a glimpse about RheinBrücke as an organization. RheinBrücke is a global company with strong presence in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We are constantly focused on mid-market with a strong multicultural and multilingual team that understands your regional needs. We believe that business can achieve the desired performance when IT is aligned to business strategy and operational business needs. Delivering value to your business is the mandatory of every CIO and IT organization. We create a truly unique value proposition through our cutting-edge solutions that leverage global cost models and best-in-class service by local experts. RheinBrücke is a Epicor Platinum partner and 2 times winner of International Partner of the Year. We have immense experience and expertise in providing Epicor implementation and support services to customers globally for past 7 years. We have executed projects in more than 30 plus countries and have 250 plus associates serving 5 of global Fortune 500 companies, and are proud to be serving our happy customers across these locations. One of our flagship product is Merlin, which is a strategic sourcing solution that offers seamlessly integrated sourcing process automation along with supplier relationship management, planning functions augmented by advanced analytics and artificial intelligence. It plays a pivotal role in enhancing collaboration between buyers and suppliers through an intuitive platform. The other products are Brücke, that offers a collaboration between employee community, especially in the current business context, empowering employees to work from virtual office. The third product we offer is expense management solution over a cloud, which is called Expensa. On the third pillar, we have Microsoft Center of Excellence, where we build and develop .NET-based and SharePoint-based solutions. We do have IoT platforms available for development, and also we build mobile-based application. The fourth pillar in our delivery is basically portfolio rationalization and an IT advisory offerings. We would take the questions as the session is coming towards an end, and viewers, please feel free to type in your questions on the panel that is displayed on the GoToWebinar questions panel. Soon after the question, we would request you to fill up a very brief survey so that we can bring you more intuitive sessions that can add more value. So feel free to type in your questions. We have a question from Deepika. Thank you, Deepika, for the question. We have existing integration with warehouse management, attendee system, and estimation system. What will happen to these integrations when we move on-prem to cloud? So basically an on-premise model, and you would like to go to a cloud, you probably would like to know what happens to the existing integration, how seamlessly they would work when you go to cloud. I presume that would be a question. Suresh, would you be able to take this question?
Hey, thanks, Sri, and Deepika, great question, right? This is one of the concerns what people have when they move from on-prem to cloud. Clouds are generally not known for providing flexibility when it comes to integrating with different applications. And that is where, as I said earlier, the flexibility in Epicor as a product in terms of integrating with different applications. And Epicor has got its own middleware in terms of integrating with different applications, irrespective of it is warehouse management or it is project management or any other applications, right? So, and what we have done as a provider, service provider, we have already built different integration kind of layers in terms of connectors, basically to integrate with different applications. So when you move from on-prem to cloud, we can easily pick that and reconnect that to the ERP system. If you have done some specific customizations, we will be able to manage that and make it in the use the real connectors to interface with rather than doing the traditional way of stored procedure or anything else, right? Because we can use the connectors. That is what Epicor is offering, and that connectors can be used for interfacing with different applications. That is an easy way of getting it uplifted from on-prem to cloud.
Okay, thank you, Suresh. That sounds good. There are plethora of options available as esteemed customers. The choices are plenty. And the next question is pretty much a pointed question around this particular stuff. And thank you, Durai, for asking this question. What is the difference in hosting options, public versus private or hybrid versus hosted? How do we decide on which is the most appropriate option? Zaied, over to you. No one can answer this better than you. So I think you're the SME here. Yeah.
Thank you. So public hosting is basically when you put your workload on the public cloud and you use shared infrastructure. So your hardware, your application is sitting to somebody else's application, but with adequate logical segregation between them. Private hosting, when you have a dedicated stack, dedicated only for you, where other customers doesn't share with you the same hardware. So the difference between private and public. Hybrid deployment is when you have your workload in the cloud connected with your workload in-prem, and this is something that we do. So along with Epicor and RheinBrücke, we can give you SaaS service on the cloud and interconnect with existing workload on a premise. The hosted option can be either public or private. Hosted is basically isolated workload only in the cloud, and the users are the ones who access the workload, but there is no integration. The second part of the question is, what is the most appropriate option? There is no like Swiss Army knife or one t-shirt size that fit all, right? So different application, different scenario will require different arrangements. But from our side, we are promoting the SaaS option on public cloud because it is more affordable, more secured, and more flexible.
Hey, thank you, Zaied. That's a wonderful thought process around it. There is a flexibility being requested, probably, when we do a global rollout, because different countries are from different, divisions they would be working, and when you have a central instance, probably how probably the other users would view this problem statement or their own operations in a screen. So Deepika, thank you for bringing this question. Will company divisions in other countries be able to use the same ERP system, or do we need a different instances? Suresh, would you be able to help here?
Yeah, sure, Sri. And this could be a potential problem with many products available in the market, right? As we all know, Epicor is a completely multi-company, multi-location, multi-regional, multi-currency system where it offers flexibility in terms of managing multiple companies and multiple divisions, multiple process, industry types in the same instance, actually. That flexibility is being offered. Epicor also allows to coexist multiple country-specific functionalities. So when you have, let's say that actually one region, you have a different country-specific functionality, the second region has got another country-specific functionality. So both can coexist actually in a single instance where you can have different companies meant for different purpose and different industries actually. So it is not at all an issue in terms of having different companies, different operating in different countries, and different divisions operating in different industry types existing in a single instance actually. That flexibility is being offered in the Cloud-based product itself.
Okay, thank you, Suresh. That sounds good. There is also a concern, or probably an inherent, worry when customer moves from their on-prem model to a cloud model because of the free availability of the platform to make its own customizations or the security built in nature. So the next question is around that particular point. Danya, thank you for bringing that out. Malcolm, I would request you to answer this because this is something very important. Is a cloud ERP solution suitable for highly complex operation? Does Epicor ERP on cloud have same customization capabilities and security features as the on-prem versions?
Thanks, Sri. Yes, I think certainly a cloud strategy is suitable for highly complex operations. And I think to Zaied's point, the complexity may determine the strategy that you land on, whether it's a public cloud, private cloud, or hybrid cloud, and that will be determined as you evaluate your business. With respect to customization capabilities, again, depending on what we mean by customization, you can configure on the cloud, and Epicor ERP is designed to be configured, and the tools are available to help those configurations to configure it to your business requirements. So yeah, I think the level of complexity, the level of customization, if you need customization, will determine the final cloud strategy that you land on, but it can certainly accommodate complex operations.
Thank you, Malcolm, for that. The next is more to do with the infrastructure-related question. It's more a pointed question, so I don't want to set a larger context here. So thank you, Danya, for bringing this out. Zaied, this is to you. Does the cloud provide an opportunity to re-architect our IT infra landscape, our systems? Just to take a little step backward, because as we speak today, we are onboarding close to 50 users with Moro Cloud, right? From our existing customer, there is a brownfield project and there is a greenfield project where we are working together, and almost 50 users are being onboarded from on-prem to cloud. So that's the context, and a couple of places where there are needs, basically. So I would let Zaied to take this from a technical standpoint. So Zaied, does it give really an opportunity to re-architect or rationalize the existing IT infrastructure as a portfolio? Can you please take this question?
Yes, so depend on the requirement. So the most common approach of moving something to the cloud is that virtual machine migration, or what we call it lift and shift. So basically you move the workload as it is. But in many cases, especially with legacy applications, we found that it is better always to converge these applications, is to transform it. In the recent mega migration with one of our customers, we had to change the technology of the database engine, because that brought to the customer better resiliency and better economy. So from time to time during the migration, we will advise our customers on what is the best approach in terms of re-architecting the applications and what component to replace.
Great. Thank you very much, Zaied. We have another wonderful question. I would view this more like a TCO enhancer. Can we choose between a cloud and on-prem time to time? Say, for example, I would like to go for a very large proof of concept for maybe 1 or 2 country rollouts, initially build my own templates. At a later point of time, when I say, yeah, this is the template I have finalized, and I would like to roll this off to different countries with appropriate statutory and regulatory requirements. And under this condition, my data compliances and so many other things are going to be in place, and they're going to be under consideration. So can we start with a cloud model and move towards the on-prem? Is it possible? Malcolm, would you be able to take this question, because they kind of request a switch over between cloud and on-prem? How do you view this actually?
Yeah, the product ethos in Epicor is code once and deploy anywhere. So you have that flexibility as you go through your strategy to move between cloud and on-prem fairly seamlessly, actually. So you can evolve that as you evolve your business strategy.
Great. Thank you, Malcolm. We have a very specific question from an industry vertical, and the requirement is, it is an EPC company, and the projects are spun across GCC and the Cloud ERP. Help us compare with construction-specific packages. Would it be possible to provide something in line with EPC? So the question is, we are an EPC company and our projects are spread across GCC. Will your Cloud ERP help us compared with some construction-specific packages that we have in the market? Suresh, would you take this question?
Yes, absolutely, Sri. If you look at it, actually, the complexity in EPC is slightly bigger compared to any other industry, right? They have challenges right from estimation to project management and project scheduling. So they have the requirement of integrating with different applications. Epicor, though Epicor offers complete estimation management within the core product itself, some organizations have already invested in an estimation management system, which they may want to integrate it. Then let's say that actually people also wanted to have integration with Primavera or Microsoft projects or any other application. As you rightly said, people would have already opted for a warehouse management system. So time and attendance systems. So there could be many systems which is up and running in an organization. It's all about actually how wisely we can justify the investment and get the best of breed applications running. That is where we offer integration with all these applications. If the customer wants to make the changes slowly, right? Because they may want to get the core application up and running, then or slowly replace all of the ancillary software actually as and when the right time comes, right? So till that time, how do we get all these systems working together and transact or pass messages and information seamlessly, right? That is where we offer that integration, and the connectors what we have built will help organizations to use the existing applications and manage their projects, which is being sitting in different part of the world, right? That complete visibility can be provided with the help of Epicor Business Intelligence, as well as the integration capability what we offer to integrate with multiple applications, right? This all makes things easy when it is having an infrastructure like MoroHub, right? Because if it is everything being managed by ourselves, actually, when I say ourselves, in the organization themselves, it is not an easy task, because who is going to take care of the IT infrastructure? How do we make sure the availability issue? How do we make sure the application is available next day when we start a project in the site? A lot of setup cost is required. But when you look at actually the recipe here, as I said, Epicor as a product with the flexibility and the capability in the product, RheinBrücke as a service provider, the kind of capability what we have built to make it industry specific, and infrastructure like Moro, which helps us to make the system available and scalable, right? So that is the perfect recipe for success, and that is what we have here.
Perfect. Thank you, Suresh. We have two more questions, one specific to cloud security. Thank you, Varshini, for bringing this question up. Zaied, would you take this question? What can organization do, or do you have a set of best practices to ensure cloud security, especially in the context of ERP?
Yes, so there are certain security measures. It's like a checklist that you have to do for all the systems based on the criticality and you know the compliance, let's say, about the system. So mainly for the infrastructure, we look at, you know, firewalls, IDS, IPS, and inside within the application, we look at, you know, the antivirus, malware sandboxing, and these tools. So all these measures, you know, we go through it when we build our environment, and we pick the best one. For very specific customers, they have special requirement, and even for you know, software as a service model, they would like to have proxy. They would like to have something in the middle between the SaaS environment and their environment. And for those specific customers, what we do, we give them a small DMZ or proxy area where they can deploy their appliances and put it as a gateway or staging area between their data center and the SaaS services. And we give that environment completely to them. They manage it, they do it the way they want.
Perfect. Thank you, Zaied. Probably last question of the day. There's been a historical data probably needs to be preserved in an organization's database from a compliance requirement or a statutory requirement. And also from an analytical standpoint, there is a need to preserve a historical data. But the question here is how much historic data is recommended to migrate when considering the cloud? Suresh, would you please take this question, because this is directly related to our DMT related stuff.
Correct. I will start this way, Sri, actually. First of all, there is no limit or restriction as far as we are concerned in terms of how much data can be taken into our cloud instance, right? If the customer come and say, hey, I need to take 5 years of data, if they insist for that, that is what we can do. But I always would like to advise my customers slightly in a different way, right? What is required actually? If normally the recommended practice is always take the opening balance and have a fresh start, right? That is the best way of doing it. When I say opening balance, it's not only financial opening balance, it's all about sales opening balance, project opening balance, so on and so forth. So whatever business they are in, and the end-to-end opening balance will be taken and they will have a fresh start. The reason, because the amount of time they have to spend in terms of converting their heritage or the standard data into the new format, right? We may have a different chart of account format because of the flexibility what we have in the system. We may have a different part number and part grouping and any other masters, suppliers, customers, right? Because Epicor offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to global master data management. Hence, we may have, we may look at actually relook at the entire data, master data itself. So the entire data converting from the previous master data or previous numbers, previous transaction into the new format to bring it into the new system is a challenging Herculean task as far as the customer is concerned actually. So we normally recommend not to do that. But at the same time, they may have a challenge in terms of, hey, how do we get visibility in terms of how do I compare my last year information with this year information, right? How do I have a last year comparison with this year comparison? So that would be the potential challenge. They may want to look at a specific invoice or specific data when they're going to the new system, right? So that is where Epicor offers a couple of things actually. One is the entire business intelligence strategy, where they can connect with multiple data sources, which is the old data source as well as the new data source, collect information from both the places and give a single view to the customer. That could be one. The second could be actually Epicor also offers external business activity queries. It's more of a technical term, which allows people to read information from a different database altogether and bring it into the current system where they can look at actually both the data side by side or one after the other. If the end user don't feel the data is coming from a different place, but they still have the flexibility to go and search and access the information, that kind of flexibility is offered by Epicor with the tool itself actually. So if you ask me the question, what do I recommend? I always recommend to start with, have a fresh start with only the opening balance and keep the data in the previous system. But you don't have to get worried. You can get that data into the overall business intelligence and read the data, view the data, and play with that data.
Yeah, thank you, Suresh. Thank you very much. That is the last question of today. And I thank you very much, audience. Warm greetings from RheinBrücke. We are committed to bring you more such sessions. Malcolm, Zaied, and Suresh, thank you very much for enthralling our audience with your views. End of the session, you will receive a short survey. Please fill the survey so that we can bring you the best from our side. And also, please follow us on the social channel to get the recordings of our past webinars. And this webinar will also go to the social channel. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.